Hi, welcome back. Welcome back to the third and last final part of the Surviving to Thriving workshop, Beyond the Veil, learning how to end the patterns of chronic pain and illness to live a life of being well, to actually learn to be well, and to claim and restore your health and well-being. The first part, if you haven't seen it, go ahead and please do not move forward. Please do not pass go and collect $200. Go back, start with the first one, please, which is all about owning what is, owning the past, learning how to call a spade and be honest. Stop pretending. And then the second part is about transmutation, how to demystify common misunderstandings about the steps it takes to be well, and also to blow that out of the water, but to transmute how to turn shit into compost, how to turn your past into your fuel, right? How to recontextualize things and to individuate and to hone your discernment, hone your divine intuition, learn how to trust your gut, right? How do these things help us be healthy and well? It all has to do with taking our traumas and claiming them, processing them, loving ourselves, learning how to be kind, learning how to just be. So that's like a mini teeny tiny synopsis of videos one and two. Let's move forward in the third part, which is about learning to trust, which is not easy, right? Because we have had our trust very mishandled, and we've trusted the wrong people, and we've lost the ability to trust ourselves. So learning to trust is a really beautiful, sacred, interesting, and challenging process of growth. And this is all like, if you want to be well, you have to stop stagnating and you learn how to grow and you lean into growth. And that comes with being honest. So I'm going to invite you back. On the second video, we closed with a little bit of a visualization. So I invite you to start with that visualization. Let's just breathe a little bit together. Visualize that symbol that I asked you. Whatever comes to mind is some kind of an anchor of an image, a large image of something simple like a flower or a tree, and then visualize how it feels to just be without all these problems. What are you doing? What are you being? What are you having? What are you enjoying? What pleasures are you having? And just being in this moment, thinking of that, how does it feel? Right? Do you feel calm and peaceful? Do you feel relief? Do you feel joy? Do you feel serenity? Do you feel at ease? So that exercise is just an exercise in practice. It's a practice that I invite you to do every day for the next week, and notice how this affects the rest of your life. And if that awareness starts to shift and make things that you want to shift in your life more clear, and how to go about those things. So I challenge you to question your beliefs and your assumptions about what you can and can't do, and trust for a moment, what if those things are possible, right? So try not to write yourself up so fast. I invite you to question your assumptions and don't believe everything you think. Don't believe your assumptions and your limiting beliefs. Learn to trust the process, and that your connection to divinity, right? Your connection to your higher self. Some people call it your spirit. I mean, I call it spirit, but your higher self is something that's a very common term, but it's not necessarily this woo-woo concept. It's the part of you that wants your best. It's the part of you that knows your health. It's the part of you that wants you to live a life of joy. And we're not meant to suffer in this world. There's another quote that comes to mind, is John Lennon's quote. He says in the I think it's a Beatles song, or maybe it's just John Lennon when he was solo. It's by Instant Karma. That's the name of the song. Why in the world are we here? Surely not to live in pain and fear, right? We're not meant to just suffer through life and then it's over. We're meant to live our lives and not just go through the motions. We're meant to live and be embodied and appreciate this vessel that we're in for this lifetime, and that this vessel should be a pleasant place to be. And I hope that you will take the journey with me, that you are inspired to travel with me beyond this experience, that I could assist you and support you in embodying these experiences of growing wellness and well-being. So it's a messy process, right? And the messy process is the way to stumble forward, right? They say fail forward, right? Forgive all of your past mistakes, and all of the mistakes are learning experiences, and allow this process of unfolding and leaning into uncertainty, but with trust that you're on the right track of living the life that feels good, because you deserve to feel good. You deserve pleasure of the healthy varieties. I'm not talking about the pleasure of eating, something really unhealthy for you. That's a different pleasure. That's an instant gratification pleasure, right? We're talking about the joy of just being alive, because we're not living in chronic pain and fear and anxiety and whatever our chronic health issues are, whether they be mental health issues or physical issues, right? Rest when you're tired and observe the bigger picture of your life. What do you want your message, your life to be about? Do you want it to be a story that people go, wow? Or do you want it to be like, I didn't really know that person very well, but this is what, and it's not about other people. Don't get me wrong. It's not about that. It's about, what do you want to say that you've done at the end of your life? Right? That's a big question. So I like to say there's like this, like a Venn diagram, right? Venn diagrams are the circles, and they symbolize and represent different things. So the Venn diagram is what we know, what we know we don't know, and then there's what we don't know, right? And that is much bigger, right? So what we know and what we know we don't know, those are very like limited spheres of awareness. But what we don't know, that's pretty vast. I mean, only the all-knowing knows the unknown, right? And stepping into the unknown requires some trust. And some people would call that faith, right? It's like, I don't know where I'm going, but I'm going to keep going because it feels right. And life is meant to be an adventure. It's not meant to be a predictable Groundhog Day sort of thing, if you've ever seen that movie, where it's just the same day over and over and over again, maybe slightly different. If you want to take on a challenge of living well, it's a journey and it's an adventure and it's worth taking. So, this is an invitation to restore your divine feminine, which is to embrace the unknown. So, what if action isn't where to start, right? What if right now in this moment you're doing enough? Right now in this moment you are enough. Right now in this moment you have enough. And right now in this moment you're whole. And I know that we want these things and we want wellness, but start believing in the now being enough as we are growing. And but it's not about pursuit, it's about expansion. It's about curiosity naturally unfolding, not chasing. It's about, I'm okay with where I'm at in this moment and I trust the process. So believe that you are being well in this moment, right? What a piece of completion for this series, right? We are well. So how to be well is to be well. And in this moment, in this breath, I am accepting what is, and I'm open to expansion. And it will become more and more and more as you are allowing yourself to just be and accept as you are. So, in my processes and the way that I work with people, I work with people through movement. We do a little bit of exercise that I call intuitive movement integration, and it's very gentle, getting to get acquainted with the body as it is, which is an act of self awareness, self devotion, and experiencing how our mind and our bodies and our emotions are all tied together through movement. So if you don't like to exercise or your body's in chronic pain, this form of movement is very much about connecting all of those aspects of ourselves with a loving experience. And it's an embodiment practice. The divine feminine is just witnessing ourselves in that movement and in the experience of allowing this, receiving this information to come in. And then the divine masculine aspect is to take action on your workbook, for example, right? Doing this embodiment and visioning practices in the workbook. Today is your baseline, right? You have your daily gratitude list, you have your vision practices, and there's a bunch of other exercises in the workbook that gives you permission to become fully aware and cognizant of what it is, what you want, what you prefer, what are your opinions, right? And so I invite you to participate in that, and with my other programs and the way that I work has a lot to do with that balance of the masculine and feminine, the yin and the yang, the above and below, the sky and the earth, and the the back and the front, and the known and unknown, and all of these opposites, right? These extremes that create wholeness is all about cultivating self-awareness and taking action for our health, and doing it with support, right? So important to trust the trustworthy, right? Because doing it alone is impossible in the long term. You can do it alone for a little while, but nothing lasts when it's done in a vacuum. So I invite you to build trust with me and to cultivate a relationship with me, either through more of these courses or working with me. And you can restore your trust in yourself through the reflection of relationship with other healthy people. And from one person who has survived and lives beyond the veil, right? I can say that no one wins alone, and getting out of isolation was the most important part of my wellness. I was struggling, missing very important pieces of my wellness puzzle until I learned how to trust others and let them into my process. So being witnessed by others in a positive, supportive way, being seen, heard, accepted, and being celebrated for the small wins. I mean, this is why we hire coaches, right? Is to have that support. So I open that up to you and invite you to give me a call, and we can talk about, what your needs are, and we can find out together if this would be a good fit. And it's not for everybody, right? Everybody is not meant for everybody, but having a conversation is the only way to find out. So I would love to, assist you in your journey. You could work with me personally or take these courses that are coming up. I have Regenerative Nutrition, the Anti-Inflammation Way, which is comes right out of a whole foods way of eating, but a little bit more specific. Ergonomics as the bridge to being well, which is my corporate wellness introductory series. That's another self-study course. And then I have 9 weeks to wellness, which will be developed very soon. How to heal. It's a deep dive in whole body integration, utilizing the energy systems of the body as symbols to explore the multifaceted parts of us. And if you just want to have a conversation, I look forward to that. I hope you enjoyed the series. And if you enjoyed my quirkiness and my neurodivergent way of doing things, I certainly would love to connect with you and learning about you and what your needs are and what your preferences are, what your dreams are, and what your pain is. And know that you're not alone. And I'm here. I'm here as a resource. And if we're not a fit, I can absolutely give you resources that will help you, to open up ideas on what would be next for you. So thank you so much for your attention and investing your time with me. And hopefully I'll hear from you soon. Take care.